You know what, Tim? I am standing here with Fernando Jara, his campaign manager, and just before you tossed to me, someone was in the background and said, Kyle's in the league, Kyle's in the league, and you know, Fernando, you smiled. How are you feeling about that?
We actually feel incredibly optimistic at this point. We always knew that this was going to be a very difficult campaign to run. Our opposition, of course, is very moneyed and an establishment candidate with very big names, and a significant part of those campaign dollars have come from outside of the community. And we've run a grassroots campaign. We've gone to a lot of doors, had a lot of one-to-one conversations with voters within the community. And we've run a candidate who ultimately is a person born and raised here who isn't part of the establishment, and we're proud of them.
What was your number one campaign strategy? You know, we talked about that a little bit before.
Our number one strategy, for this campaign was to introduce Kyle as a person who was very much Bakersfield, born and bred, and this was seen in the commercials that we put out and the literature pieces we put out, attempting to show the community that this wasn't an establishment politician who was moneyed by big money outside of Bakersfield, but was somebody you would find, dining at local restaurants right here with his family like the rest of us.
Now, Fernando, earlier today, we heard a little chitter chatter, and the day before, the Republican Party sending out a cease and desist. Can you shed a little light about that?
Sure. I think it's an unfortunate, aspect of political campaigning that oppositions will resort to tactics to try to tear at the legitimacy of their opposition's campaign, and that's exactly what we were experiencing. I think that what needs to be known by the community is that we had Republican voters and Republican leaders who are members of the Republican Party calling other members of the Republican Party and other leaders of the Republican Party to talk about their support for Kyle Carter for mayor. And I think that's a legitimate reason to say what they did on the phone.
And Kyle, his spirits seemed to be very, very high. Did that affect him at all, from yesterday?
Actually, Kyle has maintained an optimism the entire length of his campaign, and he has also kept the rest of his campaign staff also very optimistic. So we were expecting that there would be negative campaigning against us because of how well Kyle was doing, especially since he was playing from a deficit in the sense that our opposition, Kern County, was in the lead in the primary, and so we were already climbing out of a hole, if you will. And so we knew what the poll numbers said. We knew that we had climbed out and that we would be in the lead, and so we could expect that there would be negative opposition against us.
All right, I'll let you go back to your party. Any last thoughts, though? So close. I think it's 50 and 50, or
we're very close. So we're less than a point up. But I got to tell you, we're happy that there's been such a massive turnout in Bakersfield to participate in the mayoral candidate.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio, and I'll have the latest as soon as I know.
Okay, Alicia.